Watch the entire video, my lovely viewers, to get the whole thing. Without wasting much of your time, let's get right into it.
This is DJ Mutati exclusive.
Hi lovely viewers, it's me again, your one and only Mutati Mpundu. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time on my channel, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting the subscribe button down below. Turn the bell icon to join the notification squad. Don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this video in the comment section below. I'll be super glad to hear from you lovely viewers.
There was an update yesterday. The matter came before the court, the High Court of Gauteng in South Africa. It rejected the application for the family of the late President Edgar Lungu for them to appeal. It is understood that the ones that made that suspicious ruling that the body, that the family has to comply with the request of the state. So it is just expected that they will try to protect and ring-fence their judgment, no matter how suspicious. But the family has since lodged in an appeal. It's in the Supreme Court. On the other side, there are negotiations that have continued to take place. They were led by Secretary to Cabinet Patrick Kangwa and his team. And on the other side, Honorable Makebi Zulu and the family, they have moved to the next stage where they've appointed mediators to this impasse. Disregarding what is happening in court, I think all the parties are determined to find an amicable settlement. And you have seen that we've commented on this matter very, very little. Even most of my guests have not even attempted to ask the question, because I'm aware of what's happening in the background. There have been these negotiations, even to reach at a place where they've had literally to agree, now moving to the next stage of mediators. There are bridges that had to be built, hope that had to be brought in, and suspicions that had to be discarded. A lot of work, thanks to Secretary to Cabinet Patrick Kangwa, Makebi Zulu, and the family. On the other hand, they have done a wonderful job so far to try to bridge the difference. And our prayer is that let us minimize comments on this matter. Let us minimize the hostility just from both sides to allow for this process, because this matter can be locked in court for many years. You lose your appeal. You lose your appeal. You can lose to the Supreme Court. You go to the Constitutional Court. A standoff can continue for a long time. So when you see that we are commenting less, it's because we are aware of the work that is being done in the background. And also there is, remember, there is trust that has to be built from both sides. Each one will say you can't rely on them. No, they're playing games. Each side may accuse each other of that. That is why it is important that we let that process that is taking place take place. So, but the latest is that the family has since gone to the Supreme Court to appeal against the decision to stop them from appealing in the Supreme Court. A matter that should just be procedural in nature. Today, Wednesday, 17th September, we're privileged to host my dear brother. He's back on the program. You asked for him. You demanded that he should come. We are hosting Mohabi Lungu. He's just been newly elected as Secretary General of the Zambia We Want political party. And they have a unique way in which they are doing things, almost the American way, but the horse is here. We hear it from the horse's mouth. But there's something disturbing that occurred last night. And I've just received even a longer video. Engineer Emon Mwemba has been caught in a recording. He heads RATSA. He also sits on the RDA board by virtue that he's CEO for RATSA. He is recorded talking about how they should entrench Tongas at RATSA. He's being caught how he will abuse his office to ensure that he appoints gatekeepers who should promote tribalism at RATSA. It's very unfortunate. It's not a matter. We all regret that we should be talking about tribalism 61 years later after independence and after the work that President Kenneth Kaunda did. But President Hakainde Hichilema has been accused of tribal appointments, regional promotion, and is given key positions to either his tribesmate, or now here is a key evidence of a very senior officer who superintends over a constitutional office. Ratsa is an act of parliament, is a CEO, and is promoting tribalism. And just now, before I went on air, I've been given another recording that's even longer. The one we got is 4 minutes, 41 seconds. But we now have another one that is, I think, longer, 8 or 9 minutes. But I haven't had time to listen to all of it. But here is a summary of the one we have so far. I might play the other one at the end of the program. So before I invite Mohabi Lungu, because I want his comments on this matter, on the Conversation podcast, and when he was here last time, he condemned tribalism and he spoke in glorious ways how Dr. Kaunda had attempted to really unite our country out of all the 73 tribes. So I'll ask him, but let's play Engineer Emon Mwemba promoting tribalism at Ratsa.
The mathematician. So I issued an instruction with Muna. He got a distinction in mathematics. So I asked Madam Chira. I didn't want to interfere. You see, me, I can't interfere directly with the recruitment. So we have that. No, no, the one who came second star, first star is this one. So I called after Madam Chira. I said, okay. I called Muna. And I'm the one, this guy, I don't know him, but he brought his certificates early this year to me. And then me and Muna, before Chilara started, me and Muna looked at his CV. It was brilliant. So Muna traveled to recruit for Vaganjere. Make sure. So I'm going to remind him, that's the guy I had forgotten. So he went there and he sorted it out. The planning and monitoring officer, yeah. Imagine. No, they come on there, they said, Mona, with this one we're not leaving, we're going to move it. So they demoted the one who was number 1 to number 2. Oga once was the Muga into it. Then the Amanda, the Amita, a list in Jagaret. Oh, it's a party. Well, we departed, northern departed. I said, Madam, look at that list. What's wrong with it? But it's okay, sir. So, are you sure? Yeah, so are you okay with that list, Madam? But these are the ones that were shortlisted. Madam, look at the names. Zambia doesn't come from the east and the west and the north alone. That's when she looked again. I didn't realize that. So she took the list. I said, no. I said, you know what, Madam, Zambia is more diverse than that, and I'm not signing off something like that. I'm Tolo. So she took the file away last week. Ramba will have a look again. And I know that is what
he's so drenched. That's how we went.
Oh, is that so? Oh, okay, but that's why he's there, to make sure that everything is sorted out. Because Wamana. They will consolidate. Yes. No, that one I'll make sure that we will. What's her name? You know that the two officers now that are there, what's in Batok, the HR officers. Jijila Labanda. I'm going to one.
But that one
will be key. Yeah. No, I'll make sure. I will reject until they get the right person.
Yes.
Wherever we have to lock it. I would say you with the party, we need somebody from.
That's a very important department. Nishi one man actually gonna only come Muntu watungwa mahwa muntu mwandi mfakani konya
The one who was orchestrating Blimaliste and Jagare today Mahunze Guni or there's no one. In fact,
let me bring my dear special guest today, Honorable Mohabi Lungu. As you can hear from that audio, the engineer, Emon Mwemba, is even saying that now he has ensured that there are 2 human resource officers who are Tonga to ensure that this doesn't happen. There has been a process where the Road Safety, Transport and Safety Agency advertised and Zambians responded, and the team at RATSA shortlisted those that were the best and submitted the shortlist to the chief executive officer, and he rejects them because he suspects it's not Tonga. I don't know if nowadays you can tell by name alone where people come from, but that's one of the issues, and is entrenching tribalism by saying even as 2 key positions in human resource to ensure that this doesn't happen again, and he's even hinting at someone he has demoted. I was outraged when I heard to this audio, and I expected by now President Hakainde Hichilema must have moved in. But Mohabi Lungu, welcome and congratulations for your election. Congratulations for the thought that you started this unity that resulted with your other colleagues into the Zambia we want. And the Zambia we want is in the process of electing its leadership, and they've picked you as Secretary General. We are proud of that because we know that your thoughts of unity will come to the fore. But before we come to that, just your comments on Engineer Emon Mwemba. Like I said, he's a CEO at the Road Safety, Transport and Safety Agency, RATSA. He also sits on the Road Development Agency board because of his legal position as RATSA CEO.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Ambassador, for inviting me to the program once again. And of course, let me also say thank you to the many people who requested that I return. I'm humbled, I'm honored, I'm very grateful for your invitation. I'm also grateful to my colleagues who elected me as Secretary General of the party. And I hope that we will be working together with all of them, those who voted for me and those who didn't. The elections are over in my case, and I hope that we'll be working together. I'm determined to make sure that we succeed. But as you said, maybe we can get into that a little bit later. Let me make a comment on this video. I have just heard, and I think that I would like to say 3 things. The first thing that I want to communicate is that it is extremely difficult and painful for me to be discussing a subject such as this. Because every time that the circumstances ask you to begin to talk about a discussion regarding tribalism, you think about who you may be offending inadvertently when you don't want to offend. As you know, Ambassador, I am married to a Southerner. My wife is Lenje solely from the mother's side, and she is a Tonga Ila from the father's side. My own daughter is married to someone from Southern Province, and therefore my grandson is a Southerner stroke Easterner, whatever you may wish to call it. And so when you delve in matters like this as Zambians, you are always, stepping on burning coal. because you might say something that may look like you are in fact talking about your own family. And I think that that is very sad. So I wanted to say that first. This is very painful to discuss. The second issue I wanted to say is that you said in your opening remark that you were outraged. And I would like to say that I was outraged myself. Unfortunately, I can't say that I'm outraged. I would like to say that I was shocked at hearing what is being discussed on this audio, because it is a matter of shock, or it's a shocking matter. But it has been happening so frequently, particularly in this administration in the last 4 years, that for me it has ceased to be shocking, it has ceased to be outrageous, it has just now become sad and disappointing and emotionally draining that there are people in this country that can think the way that this gentleman is thinking. That there are people in this country who are discussing these matters in such detail and with no remorse and with no tact about what is important about unifying this country, that it appears to be normal to them. And this is very, very sad for me, for my country. Thirdly, however, the fact that many of these so-called secret discussions are leaking out to the public is in itself an indicator that there are still a lot of people in this country who disagree with this sort of philosophizing, or who disagree with this sort of perspective in terms of the country. And I think that I would like to hang my hope on that particular revelation, that there are still people who want it out there so that we may be able to deal with it. So these are the three things I would like to say. I think it's very sad. And it is one of the reasons why, when you had asked me why we needed opposition unity last time I was on the show, I had indicated that we are facing an existential crisis in our country. And one of those existential crises is the fact that the current UPND administration has divided us as the Zambian people like no other administration has done. And if we allow this to continue, and if we allow them to win the elections in 2026, I am afraid, with their belief that there is nothing to stop him now for the next 5 years, they will even be more brazen to do things like this. The president himself, who is aware of what is going on and is actually promoting it, as we discussed last time, by that video which was leaked when he was complaining about people hating him and asking the reasons why people are hating him, and again, in a very clever way, trying to claim victimization as a Southerner. If we don't defeat them in these next elections, and when I say them, I don't mean Tongas, I don't mean Bembas, I mean the government of the UPND, who has decided to make one of the issues upon which they should be elected a grievance that others have had it too good when they were excluded. So that is my comment on that, Ambassador. It is really, really sad and disappointing.
Indeed, it is sad, and you know, some of the whistleblowers even told us that today the CEO was attempting to threaten, trying to establish who leaked the audio. It's like he doesn't see anything wrong with what he said, and now he's trying to victimize, threatening them with these new cyber laws. That, do you know that recording illegally is a serious offense, and that you'll be arrested? That is why immediately there is such a thing, government are supposed to suspend, so that no further damage is done to the institution and to the people around that institution as investigations go on. Let's come to the middle of it. Walk us through what's happening with Zambia, the Zambia we want. I had an announcement from Mr. Ernest Mwansa when he was last year, and he informed me, even Honorable Bob Schinga informed me, that there was a process that will start and may culminate by 17th. You might have finished this process of electing leadership. Just walk us through. All we have is you as Secretary General, and congratulations. How are you doing it? How is this conference being held? Who are the delegates? What are the parameters? How is the structure?
Okay, no, thank you very much again, Ambassador. Yes. Yeah, we are very strong on constitutionalism. And when we established this, first of all, when we started discussing establishment of this party 2 years ago, all of us had to understand and agree that there were certain issues in the Zambian history as it regards political parties and institutions that we thought we had made many mistakes in terms of trying to consolidate those institutions. So what we decided to do is to learn from the mistakes of the past and try to avoid all of those mistakes that causes a party that loses government, for example, like UNIT to die, or a party that loses government, that the MMD to die, in the sense that they lose all of their seats in the House and in the councils. And we wanted to create an organization which would not be dependent on any single one individual. We wanted to create an organization which was governed by rules and regulations. And we wanted to create an institution for which the selection process was free, fair, transparent, and open to the public. And in hope that if we can follow through on these regulations, which are contained in our manifesto, in our constitution, and this constitution is free to the public, and we have distributed it widely, that even after we are gone, those of us will have regarded us as founders are gone, that the organization will continue to live on the basis of its belief system. So in terms of the process that we have started now, we have staggered it in 3 phases. So the first elections which happened yesterday were that of the chairman of the party, who is head of the party, and the secretary general of the party, who is the chief executive of the party. In our party, the presidential candidate or the president is not the head of the party. In most of the political parties in Zambia, the head of the party is the presidency. We have made demarcation, and we have made the presidential candidate only a candidate who will be the flag bearer of the party in as far as elections are concerned. But in terms of running and administering the party, it is the chairman and the Secretary General, and then the National Leadership Council. So these elections were scheduled for yesterday, and we had a bit of I would say, a mishap in terms of the elections of the chair, but we went ahead and elected the Secretary General. So I won those, and as I said, I'm very grateful to my colleagues. Who are the delegates? According to our constitution, the National Leadership Council is composed of 66 members of the executive committee. As of now, we have filled about 40 of those, 40 out of the 66. And those were the delegates to the convention. Now, obviously, again, in the constitution, there is a convention which is composed of members of the National Executive Council, the National Leadership Council, and then there is a Congress, which is composed of districts, provinces, constituencies, up to the ward. That will be held in 2 years' time, which will then be valid for the next 5 years. But because of the proximity to the elections, we decided to go by the way of the convention, in which the members of the National Executive Committees are the ones that select the leadership. And this is provided for in our constitution. So it's not something that we dreamt up, it's something that is provided for in our constitution. So on Friday, on Thursday tomorrow, the nominations for the presidency will close. They were opened on Sunday. And the nominations for the presidency, as well as the other positions in the National Leadership Council, will close tomorrow. And then on Monday, we will have a peer review of all those who have successfully applied to become presidential candidates. And again, that is a requirement according to our rules, because we thought that it was very important to do this peer review. after the peer review on Tuesday, the 23rd of September, we will then have elections for the National Leadership Council. After those elections have been finished in the morning, in the afternoon, we will have the elections now for the presidential candidate. Once we select a presidential candidate, out of those who will have applied, the president of the presidential candidate will then nominate 3 names to be considered for elections for the running mate. So even in this regard, we didn't want the president to choose a running mate. We wanted the president to nominate 3 people who he would be or she would be comfortable with to work with, and then the National Leadership Council will then elect out of those 3 who should be the running mate. And then after that has been done, then we will have completed the process and we will start to operate. So that is the process that we have started. It's very transparent. It is very open. The whole electoral process is being conducted by an ad hoc independent electoral commission, which does not come from the Zambia we want. We wrote to organizations such as the Law Association of Zambia, to Caritas, to JCTR, to Transparency International, and those who responded are the ones who have formed the Electoral Commission. So they are on their own. We've got nothing to do with the process, but the whole issue is being done very transparently. We've actually got ballot papers which have been printed with names just as it is in the Electoral Commission of Zambia, nothing to do with blank papers with serial numbers. So if anybody wants to dispute, you can follow the whole issue. We thought that we needed this level of transparency in order to have legitimacy for all of those who will be elected, so that no one can say, I have made myself the Secretary General, I've made myself the presidential candidate, etc., etc. So this is what we are in the process of doing.
American style, the presidential candidate is not the leader of the political party. The chairperson appears to be the leader.
Yes, in a sense, it's very similar to the American system, yes, but the inspiration is not the American system. It is similar, but the inspiration is not the American system. The inspiration for us is very much local. And the reason for that is because we have observed that the executive branch of government in this country is too powerful. And it is not beholden to anybody. So that anyone who is then elected as a president feels that they owe it to nobody. They can do whatever they want. And it's so powerful that when someone is in State House, they can do whatever they want to the extent that nobody is prepared to challenge them, not the legislature, not the judiciary. And as a result of his untouchability in terms of scrutiny, what happens is when the Zambian president leaves office, then all of those people who he or she annoyed, all of those people who he gave instructions to do illegal things, who could not answer to them or while they were in prison, all of those begin to bring up all of these cases about what they were able to do when they were in power. And now that they are out of power and they have no institutions of state to protect them, then you see a situation where all our former heads of state are then now punished by the public, by those who they were working with, by the opponents who think that they were punished. So this happened to Kenneth Kaunda. This happened, as you know, to President Chilua. This has happened to President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. We think that the reason that happens is that the office of the presidency is too strong. So we have said to ourselves, this is what we will do once we get into power. And again, it is contained in our manifesto, that within 3 years of us getting into power, should the Zambian people give us an opportunity, whether we go in it as a single party, but more likely that we will be able to go in it as part of a united opposition, that we must have a constitution designed by the people, approved by the people, through a referendum within the first 3 years of governance. But in order to prove to ourselves and to the Zambian people that we mean what we say, we thought that charity begins at home, and that sort of behavior, that sort of belief in principle must be evident even within our political party. so that we are not pretending. I mean, you can't be a dictator in your own house and claim to be a Democrat in other people's houses. You cannot claim to be a fair-minded person with small things which have been entrusted to you, and when bigger things have been entrusted to you, you cannot claim that you will do a better job than when you did when you were alone. So that is the reason why we thought it was very important that we live up to what we say we are. And so I think that so far so good. I'm very proud of my colleagues, people who have been working together, that we have been able to achieve this.
It's your man Steve-O the Guru. Mama onani yama na nana na drama yan drama na kana kujama na mama na mwana kuseni masana ni aiwe chani. Right about now, there's something hot happening in the city, in the country, known as My Zambian Dream. And I want you to hop on this. Basically, it's just a matter of entering and dialing *384*1#. When you dial that, you are in the game. It's only 10 kwacha. Guys, you can win yourself a car, you can win yourself a shopping voucher, you can win yourself a trip, a scholarship, a lot of prizes, kaunga, vonse and all that, even a phone. Forget about your landlord now. You can have a house on this one. You see? So guys, hop up on this. Make sure you dial *384*1#. Nilipa Mpundu.
This is DJ Mutati exclusive.
Alright, that's all for you today, lovely viewers. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about the video you just watched in the comment section below. I'll be super glad to hear from you, lovely viewers. Once again, I go by the name of Mutati Mpundu. I love you, peace, I gotta go.